Donnie here, and I want to talk about our sponsor for the Why Bass podcast, Jim Dunlop MXR. Since 1965, Jim Dunlop has given us what we need with strings, picks, straps, and pedals. And not just any pedals, pedals for bassists, which not a lot of people do. They offer the bass synth, which I've used on the Kelly Clarkson cover with the Toadies. They've got a T-bass distortion chorus a la Peter Hook, the Dynacomp for compression, and all bass players need compression. What I use every day on the road is the Bass DI floor unit to give me that extra punch that my front-of-house engineer loves. When it comes to picks, my go-to is the 1mm flex to give me the attack that I need. Head over to jimdunlop.com and check out their massive variety of pedals, picks, and strings. They have it all at jimdunlop.com. I would like to thank our sponsors at Schecter Guitars, makers of fine guitars for over 50 years. They make a huge variety of guitars and basses, all high-quality builds with the best materials and pickups at a reasonable price. Of course, Schecter offers a rip-roaring selection of bass guitars, as are the Model T4 and the Corsair. And right now, Schecter is celebrating 50 years of craftsmanship, innovation, and tone with their 50th anniversary collection. Head on over to schecterguitars.com and check it all out. Again, that is schecterguitars.com. You'll love it. Hello, this is the Why Bass podcast with Donivan Blair, and I'm Donivan Blair. Go figure. Hi everybody, this is Donivan Blair, and welcome to the Why Bass podcast, where I ask my guests that very question. Why did they pick it up? Why do they still hold it? We're going to talk influences, we're going to talk the studio, the stage, and we might even get a little philosophical. Today's guest is Patrick Smith, the bass player of the Vandoliers, a fantastic band. Hope you enjoy the episode. Let's get in there. Hey-o, Patrick.
What's up, Donnie?
We're going to try this again, my friend. We had some technical difficulties. So, where are you today?
I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. Got the day off today. We play tomorrow here. We played, where did we play? Amarillo, Albuquerque, and then we're here tomorrow. Tucson, Flagstaff, Vegas, and a few other spots.
Where did you play in Albuquerque?
It was called Backstage at the Rebel. Pretty cool venue.
Okay. And Amarillo was good to you, I hope. It better be.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, love the Golden Light. Great to
Golden
finally
Light's
play there.
amazing. I love
Oh my God,
that
their
place.
burgers are so good.
All of the
Unreal.
food is amazing. If you are going through Amarillo, do yourself a favor. Go to Golden Light Cafe on 6th Street. It's some of the best burgers, other than Blue Sky. So it's kind of there's a war between what's got the better burger. It's
They need to have a
Golden Light or Blue Sky, and it's I can't pick. I really can't
They
pick.
need to have a burger off, huh?
Oh God, yeah, dude. If so, I'll be the judge. You know.
I'll be full. Food comas for days.
No shit. But how's the record been?
Oh, which record?
Oh, the brand new
Oh,
Vandoliers record. Yes.
of course. Oh, it's been amazing.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
I jumped in last April, and it was time to play the record out live. You know, so I got to dig in on it, and I love all the parts. I love everybody's stuff on it. I love learning all of Mark's bass parts that he had for it.
Really
And
good parts. Yeah.
oh
I've been
yeah,
listening to it.
he's
Fantastic parts, man.
he's brilliant. I love his melodic sensibilities on the
Yeah.
bass. You know, so it's been really amazing getting to play all that stuff. And you know, Ted Hutt produced it, and he's
Yeah.
brilliant. Yeah, I mean, great direction, great songs. And then we've got one new one that we've been playing live that
Oh,
I hear is going to come out soon. That my first song I got to record with the Vandoliers.
oh, awesome. And where did you guys record that?
We recorded it in Los Angeles at Pierre. I forget his last name. He's the bass player and sometimes guitar player in Rilo Kiley
Oh,
at his
okay.
studio
Nice.
in Los Angeles. I think it's called 64 Sound. And
Okay.
Ted came in and we recorded with him last summer. We had a day or two off there.
Awesome. Awesome. What did you use? Nerd shit.
I I used my Epiphone Thunderbird.
Kick ass. All
Yeah.
right, we're gonna get to that, and that brings me to this. So you're playing the Epiphone Thunderbird. Out. You're playing your Rippers. Are they Gibsons? Or are they? They're Gibsons, right?
Oh, these are Epiphones also. I just got the new Mike Dirnt bass.
All right. We're gonna put a pin in that. Okay, let's put a pin in
Okay.
that. Because I was actually gonna ask. I saw some pictures. I was gonna ask if that was it. So, but all right.
Yeah.
So why did you start playing bass?
So I picked up the drums and then the guitar when I was 17. And when I picked up the guitar, I got hooked and I forgot about the drums, which now I kind of regret. Drums are my favorite instrument. I wish I was playing drums. But you know
We
what?
all do. Yeah.
Yeah, right. No, but so I played guitar and I would play bass a bit. And most of my bass playing early on was just to create demos. I didn't really know anything about the bass other
Yeah.
than just naturally what would happen. And so then about 5 years or so of playing guitar in bands and a lot of situations I was in. There were a couple situations where I found a really great bass player and then the band fizzled out. But most of the situations I was ever in, um, the dependable guys like couldn't play the bass well, and the really great bass players were totally undependable. So I had a friend that moved back to
Wow.
Texas from New Jersey, wanted to make a band with me. We had me and him and a drummer, and they both were like, "Cool, now we just need a bass player." And I was like, I really want to make this band. Just give me a bass. I want to play bass. And they're like, what?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, here. And I showed them like demos that I had. And they were like, wow, you're a natural. You totally get the instrument. And I was like, I do? Okay, cool. That's good to know because I just want to make this band at all costs.
Yeah.
And the more that I played the bass, the more I started to realize that growing up when I was little, most of my favorite music was super bass driven. I had like a lot of like punk and ska, reggae, 90s rock stuff where, I like from, Real Big Fish, the Mighty Mighty Boss Stones, to like Third Eye Blind, Green Day.
Yeah.
A lot of my
Yeah.
favorite bands growing up were super bass driven. And so
Yeah.
I basically grew up kind of just training my ear to bass and not realizing it. So yeah, when I picked up the bass for that band, it was just like, oh, wow, this is really like natural to me, and I love this. And that was in 2010. By the end of the year, all of my friends that I'd been playing guitar with, they all started calling me like, hey, man, can you come play this gig with me? I need a bass player. I was like, sure. And so it's like by the end of 2010, all of a sudden I was playing 7 nights a week, and like my guitar rig was just collecting dust, and I ended up like selling half of my guitar rig so I could get more bass stuff. And then, I've still played guitar. I play a bunch of other instruments too, but the main thing that I do in public is bass, and I love it. And yeah.
You mentioned Green Day and all that, but were there any influences that kind of latched on to once you're like, oh, I'm going to be playing a lot more bass? So anyone that you listen to make you want to like, oh, that's inspiring me to do this.
Yeah, totally. It's really interesting because I feel like a lot of my main influences aren't individual bass players or individual bands. It's like moments in songs or individual songs, approaches to those songs that I took influence from for something. It's like I've gone into studio sessions where I'm like, for this song, I'm going to play like Geezer Butler. And I've gone into a studio session where I'm like, okay, I want to do something like Muse or King's X, where I need you to split my signal. I want totally clean bass and I want all the effects and synths and distortions on it over
Yes.
here. And it's like I want, a John Paul Jones sounding bass line now, or like super simple, like. And so it's like I feel like there's so many different little things that I've taken from over the years. It's like really hard to pinpoint like one solid influence. It's kind of I've sort of adapted from all of these different things.
That's awesome. Just listening to all of the music and figuring out that bass player what that needs instead of just being influenced by one person, right?
Exactly. And one thing that I was a big fan of in like 2011 or 12, I read this interview with John Paul Jones actually, where he talked about what made Zeppelin them. One of the things about them is that they didn't limit themselves to just one influence. They would bring anything to the
Oh,
table, whether it was Indian music or American, Americana or jazz or funk or whatever, and they would bring that influence to the table, and then it would sound like them still. I was
yeah.
like, oh,
God damn, what an amazing band and what an amazing bass
yeah,
player.
Yeah,
JPJ is just God. He's the goat.
for
It's
real.
and I've brought this up before. Fuck, you and I have discussed this. We
Hmm.
talked about JPJ, but he's this secret weapon, and the people
Oh
that
yeah.
know that were the other three. I mean,
Yep.
Plant, Page, and Bonham knew he was a secret weapon.
Oh
Everyone
yeah. His
else is like, "Oh my
mandolin and
god,
his.
yeah, dude."
Hmm.
They were thinking of Bonham, of course. But that's the thing with that band. How there's so many things you can be into. You can either be just into Bonham, or Jimmy Page's riffs, or his guitar playing, or looking at Robert Plant's hog, or something like that. In his tight fucking jeans, or something like that.
So was it a cucumber or not? That's what we need to know.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. Fuck. Jesus. That thing. But but JPJ's back there just literally holding it down. He's not
Oh yeah.
he's just doing his job, and he's looking at Bonham, and he's letting the other two do what they do. And
Monstrous.
monstrous. His right hand was incredible. His just theory, everything. And think about it. All of the sessions he had done before that, they were just,
Hmm.
it was two pros with two just kind of untrained monsters, and Plant and
Yep.
Bonham. Anyway, I could do a whole show just on JPJ.
Like you look at them Crooked Vultures, and it starts to make more sense. Like just how much JPJ brought to the table with Zeppelin as well. Because you look at
Oh,
songs
yeah.
from them Crooked Vultures, like Elephants, that do, and it's like,
Amazing.
oh, okay, right. And he on that song, he tuned his bass to like it was like DG, so he could play with the open tuned guitar easier to do the same riffs. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, like Black Dog's a riff that JPJ wrote. You know what I mean? And then
Yep.
you start looking at Zeppelin's catalog against that, and you're like, okay, now I can kind of see his place in that band and the
Yeah.
influence he had on Zeppelin as well.
That's in 15, Black Dog.
Black
We
Dog?
were, yeah, one night we were about to go on. Fuck, we might have been with you guys. Y'all were on, and we were bullshitting. And you're counting it right now, aren't you? Yeah.
I'm counting it right now.
Yeah, I know. And this is a couple of months back. And so we were just every night before before we go on, we were cranking Zeppelin. And Black Dog came out, and I went, it's 15. And that, made Vaden's ears perk up. Like, wait, a weird count?
I
Shit,
love
where?
that.
So we started counting it, and he was like, fuck, it is. It's like one of 7, one of 8, of course, but I just keep counting it 15, you know?
Hmm.
It's fucked. Anyway,
I
so
love
like
that. I love that.
when you started playing bass, what was your first bass?
Oh wow. Okay, so first the band that I switched to bass to make, the drummer had a whole bass rig that his buddy left behind when his buddy moved to East Texas, and his buddy was always like, "I'm going to come back for it, so don't give it away, but you can use it." And so it was like this red Schecter stiletto bass, and so I
Nice.
like borrowed that for a few weeks or a month, and then I bought a court bass, and it's like this weird,
Cool.
funny shaped bass that was blue with a single Bartolini pickup and a funky headstock, and it was like a $200 bass or something.
Sure.
And a good buddy of mine, a guy named Jay Drange, one day was like, "You need a real bass." Like, and this is like, now I've been playing that court for maybe 4 months, and he's like, "I got this vintage P bass that I just got that I'll sell to
Mm.
you for what I got it for." I'm like, "Okay." And so, he hands me it. It's a 1978 P bass. It's blonde with a maple neck, and I bought that from him. I think that was so it was like March 2010 when I made the switch to bass. Somewhere in between March and November, I went from that stiletto to the court, and then it was like November 2010. I bought this 78 P bass from him that I've had ever since, and has been kind of like my main bass. But
How
I like
much?
exploring. Oh, I think I paid him like $1,000 for it.
Fuck, for a 78?
Yeah, yeah,
Ah,
and
you
this was like
dick.
the
Okay.
yeah,
Ah,
I know,
fuck.
right? So
Ah,
so
damn.
so he
Ah, God.
he bought it from this lady that had it in a closet for 30 years or something. She was the second known owner, but there had to have been one more because the serial number was scratched off before she had bought it. She bought it in like 1980 or something from somebody.
Wow.
And so between 78 and 80, it was stolen and hawked. And then this lady got into possession of it. And then it just ended up in her closet forever. My buddy Jay buys it from her. and then immediately sells it to me. And you know, it had faded from those bases were white, but the paint they used, it turns
Yeah.
blonde.
Yep.
But I
Yeah.
mean, it barely had any sort of mojo to it. You know what I mean? Like it hadn't been played, and now like it looks like a '78, which is funny because I did that since 2010 to now, not 40 years of being out in public with it, just 15, and it's aged really beautifully.
Ah, that's beautiful. I bet you it sounds amazing.
It
Fuck.
does. So I just got connected with somebody recently and rented it to ACDC for a week while they were in Dallas rehearsing.
No shit. So, was it Chris Chaney is their bass player?
Yep. Yep.
Wow.
I didn't have a
Nice.
chance to speak with any of them. I handed it off to a buddy of mine that he handed it off to their tech. I don't know if he actually used it in rehearsal. It sounds like he brought it to the hotel to work on songs, so he might not have actually rehearsed with ACDC with it, but it was, you
Okay.
know,
Still,
he had
he's
it
a
in his
hell of a bass
possession to
player.
work on the music. Yeah.
That guy's a fantastic player. He can,
Hmm.
another guy and that's what I guess I love about bass is we're kind of the underdogs. It's like people look at it, they don't look at us. They don't look at us at all.
I got so many jokes
We're
about that, and it's
there.
great.
Oh, with my band, are you fucking kidding me? I mean, I say they don't look at me. They're like, we don't look at you. You're there,
You're there. Oh,
but
he was on the stage with us. That's right.
hey, you were. Look at that. We all get. But it's one of those things of our absence is noted.
Oh yeah,
That's what I like about being a good
the
bass player.
booty's
I mean,
gone.
not that I'm a good bass. I'm just saying, being a bass player, and if you're doing your job right and you're not playing, it should be noted.
Mhm.
And like, oh wait, what happened to the bass? Oh, here it comes in.
You know, it's funny because on most records that I've worked on, if somebody were to ask me what my favorite thing on the album that I came up with was, it's like, check out this part where I don't play for like 30 seconds. Because then when
Yes.
I come in, it's
Yeah.
like, you know,
Yeah. Exactly.
like your
And
proudest
that's
moment is deciding not to play at all. Like, yeah.
yep. There's a part in the new record that's kind of the same thing, and
Oh,
it's
nice.
just a part where Clark is just playing by himself. It's just basically him and Vaden going back and forth. There's nothing. There's no drums. There's no
Oh,
bass. It's just it's very a pulse, small bass, and then everything comes in. But I love that kind of stuff. I love
oh yeah.
that whenever everybody comes in after we don't, because
The
it's so
impact.
much exactly impact that
Hmm.
we can make that happen.
You know, it's
So
funny. I feel
whenever
like,
you're in
oh,
the
sorry,
no, go ahead, go ahead.
the delay. It's funny because I think about when that really first resonated with me, and it was in 2010 or 11, some sort of gig I had where somebody sent me some songs to learn, and when I learned "Ain't No Rest for the Wicked," they asked me to go ahead by Casey Elephant. They asked me to go ahead and play from the top with them, and so I
Hmm.
did at one show. And then I went back and listened to the song again. And at the next show, I didn't tell them, but I was like, I'm not playing at the beginning because it's going to sound better, I think. And so they start the song and they're all panicking and looking at me, why aren't you playing? I'm like, keep going, trust me, it's okay.
Just
And then after that first chorus ends or whatever, and I come in and everything just gets huge. And afterwards they were like, wow. And I was like, right. That was the moment where it clicked for me.
like here's the word of the day, kids. Dynamics.
Hmm.
And what's
Exactly.
the easiest way for dynamics? Setting out and then coming in
Hmm.
on when you need to. And what's going to be heavier than just loud, boomy bass?
Mm.
So, what do you like to record with, like in the studio? What's your favorite one to do?
So I don't have a problem. You have a problem. I have like 18 bass guitars and I just keep getting more.
Yeah.
And
Uh huh.
I like to see what serves the song or the vibe or the moment or sparks everyone's interest in the room
Yeah.
the most, you know. Sometimes I'll bring one bass, just I'll just know this is
Yeah.
the one, just that's that. Sometimes I'll bring 10 basses and I'll show up, I'll listen to the song and I'll think, this song could benefit from a more P bass tone or a more jazz bass tone. Then I'll pick like three out of the 10 that I brought for this song. And I'll say one of these three is probably the
Hmm.
sound, and then have a bass shootout, or often just the first one I pick up, everybody's like, yeah. But I mean, regularly winners of bass shootouts are my P bass. I have an Eastwood Flying V bass that's really popular in the studio. People are always really
Nice.
surprised by it. I have a late '90s Epiphone viola bass that was defretted that just sounds monstrous. But then I also I've just finished up co-producing and co-engineering two records with a guy named Nick Lee. He's a guitar player singer for the Texas Gentlemen. Him and I have been kind of working together a lot in his studio and producing people. And we just did this rock album where I think it was like 10 songs where maybe 7 of them I used a 8-string bass, a Waterstone 8-string,
Nice.
and it's just massive sounding. And so, yeah, I don't know. It's like I've got so many fun toys to pick from. It's hard to say which one's the absolute favorite.
You don't have a Rickenbacker though, do you?
I need one. And you know what's funny? Since I bought like my second bass, I've said for 16 years the next bass I'm gonna get's gonna be a Rickenbacker, and I still haven't bought one.
Well, I'm not gonna clown you yet, but I might. It's not like you're not gonna have at least a month to fuck around with mine. So by the end of that, you'll definitely
Yes.
Yeah. So we're gonna
I'm
be
have to buy one.
Trust me, dude. I mean, I could do an episode just on Rickenbackers, and I might. But yeah, and that's another thing. I mean, yeah, like I think by the end of that run, everybody, so y'all know, us, the Toadies band and the Vandoliers band, we're all gonna go hit the road in April, because you guys are first. Yeah, it's late April to late May that y'all are gonna be with us.
We've got like those random 3 shows in April.
Yeah.
The 16th, 17th, 19th, right?
Yeah.
And then like on April 30th it starts.
Yeah. So there'll be plenty of Rickenbacker time. So then you can change your ways. You can make up for it. You know.
And then finally it's just gonna have to happen. After I play your bass, I'm just gonna be like, dang it. Which 2 basses can I sell to buy one of these Rickenbackers?
Yeah, well, all of them. You'll want to sell all of them. Like, fuck that one. I thought I was in the same thing. Like, no, okay. I started decreasing basses so I could buy more Ricks. So it's a sickness. Well, all right. But speaking about buying new basses, though, what do you think? You said you've been playing the Mike Dirnt signature, right? What do you think about it?
I think it's rad. I love it. It's got such a cool tone. You plug it in and right away, naturally you start playing Longview. You're like,
of
wow,
course.
Yep, that's the sound.
Of course,
yeah.
And
they just feel great. The neck feels amazing. I love it's got 3 single coil pickups with a 3-way switch that goes between using the neck in the middle, all 3, or the bridge in the middle one. Right now, it might just be luck of the draw. My personal one, the one that I got, is a little quiet. I haven't taken it to my tech yet to have him look over it and see if there's anything to do. For now, I just have a Electro-Harmonix Battalion, or is it the bass Battalion pedal that I'm using as like a preamp to boost the signal just on that bass. That way I can switch between that and my other one.
Okay.
It's really common though. Having 18 basses, I have some that are just like crazy loud and some that are quieter. And so I often will have like my pickups leveled, like raised or lowered to make the outputs match.
Yeah.
And I just haven't taken this one in yet but yeah, the tone's amazing. The feel of it's amazing. The neck is wonderful. I mean, yeah, it's killer. I love the body shape.
Yeah. I mean, and you got the Silver Burst one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. And it's got a badass on it. Is that right? Is it a badass or just a high mass?
I forget, actually. I have it in the hotel room right here, too. I could go look. I'll have to get back to you on that one.
I think. And what about the neck? Is it top heavy? Is it flopping down like anything else, or is it pretty balanced?
It's pretty balanced. And also, I go back and forth, but I mostly wear my bass pretty low. So I don't really think I give it much room for neck dive.
Okay.
But like my Thunderbird dives. My Thunderbird definitely dives. But yeah, this grabber doesn't dive, I don't think.
I've heard. I want to play one, so I'm definitely going to play yours. I think it's just it's a tough looking bass, and I always loved it when he played those, then he went to precisions, like, oh, what kind of shit is this? And then I heard his tone with the precision, and sounds incredible. I loved his signature Fender bass was amazing too.
Yeah.
So when he did
Yeah.
this, it was
For years there with my P bass, and then also I have a '97 Jazz 5 string. The tone from those and the vintage and all of that is so appealing and it's so wonderful. And then I got this Flying V bass in 2019, late 2019, that I started playing, and I started seeing people's heads turn because it was unusual designed bass
sure.
guitar,
Yeah.
and that sort of intrigued me a little bit. And you get to a place where anything will sound good coming from your own fingers. And so I started kind of chasing after more oddly shaped basses just for the fun expression.
Well, I think also with your band and the kind of music you guys are, more of Americana punk, people are going to expect a P bass or something similar
Yep.
to that. But if you're coming out with a Flying V or a fucking Gibson Grabber or something like that, it's different.
Exactly.
I think.
Exactly. It's like when I started playing the Thunderbird, I remember seeing photos from this music festival somewhere. I don't remember, but it was a big festival with a whole bunch of the top name bands. And it was like 80% Fender, P or J, and then like 15% like Music Man, and then like 5% like other bass. But
Uh,
there's like every band. I was like, okay, but you know what? Tried and true, and it is a beautiful instrument. Looks great. Don't get me wrong, but I kind of like to stick out if I can. I mean, not I don't know.
it's just about being an individual, I believe.
No.
And I've got a couple of Fenders. They're hard to screw up. You can't, even if you're all right, you can pick
Yeah.
up a Fender and you'll be like, wow, I sound amazing. But with Gibsons and Ricks, they don't give it to you. They like, you have to earn it. You've got to play those things over and over and over again to get a good tone,
Yep.
to figure it out. And then once you do, that's a sweet spot. And so it's almost like it's worth
Then
it.
you're in the
Earn it.
club.
Yes, exactly. And you've earned it. Like, here's the tone. I can hit this. I can do that. I've earned it because I've played the shit out of this thing over and over and over again. So it's just kind of like
Yep. Yep.
those differences. And that's how Gibsons are. They sound great right out of the box, but they don't sound as great as they do after you've played them for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Same with Ricks.
Exactly.
Although, I mean,
Exactly.
like a jazz, a P, they're just gonna sound amazing, period, Art, let me ask you this. What about, are you pick or finger guy?
So when I started off, I made the transition from guitar,
Mm-hmm.
and I couldn't use my fingers at first because it was just so foreign. I
Mm-hmm.
used a pick because I quickly jumped into having to perform,
Sure.
and I, made myself practice and get used to being able to use my fingers. And then when I was like super capable with my fingers, I quickly reached this point where I was like, I'm never using a pick again.
Mm-hmm.
Fingers sound the best, whatever. And then I started like digging in a bit more, and there was a point where I think maybe it was like Heartbreaker by Led Zeppelin or something, or A Whole Lot of Love, one of those songs that I learned. I think it was Heartbreaker.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just clear as day that the attack he was getting, the tone he was getting, was thanks to the pick and
Yeah.
his technique with the pick. And so then I was like, okay, maybe I shouldn't be anti-pick. Maybe it is like where it serves, one or the other. And then coincidentally, right around that time, I saw this interview with him where he was talking about Whole Lot of Love bass line and his approach. And he was like, yeah, I feel the moment. Some songs need a pick, some songs need my finger. And I was like, yep, that's the thing. That's it. So
Yeah.
that's
I
pretty much where I'm at with it. Sometimes even in a song, I'll go from fingers to pick back and forth for different
Nice.
sections.
Nice. Well, I mean, you got to do it. What is good for the song? Guitar players always have a pick, but we can switch. We can go back and forth. Like, it doesn't sound as good with fingers. It needs more of an attack here. It needs more of this. It needs, you know what I mean?
And sometimes it's even just like the way that the notes come off of your hand.
Mm-hmm.
I'll play something with my fingers, and yeah, maybe I want that finger tone for this song, but my approach with the pick, the different sort of aggression that I take with it, or like
Sure.
my vocabulary slightly changes. And
Yeah.
I'm like, as much as I want the finger tone, I want the way I'm playing with a pick on this.
Yeah.
So even sometimes it's down to that.
Well, and sometimes it's just how your brain. I think you play differently with a pick or with your fingers. I don't play the same way with the pick that I do with the
100%.
fingers. I don't do the same things. Amp-wise, what are you doing?
So with the Vandoliers, Trey had a whole orange rig for me to use,
Okay.
and I'm loving it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I've dabbled over the years with a lot of different things. I have these 215s that are custom built. I had heard they were custom built by Lowdown Sound,
Okay.
but it was hard to verify. Some guy hawked them at a Guitar Center in 2017, and a buddy of mine that worked there was like, dude, you need to go check out those cabinets. And he sold them to me for like, it was like under $300 for the pair together.
Nice.
And then I cracked them open, and the speaker in it alone is like a $350 speaker in one of these. And then it's all like custom built, where these cabinets I have, they're super strange. You know how usually a bass cab really throws, and like you're on the stage and you can't hear yourself as well, but out in front of you, it's like, cutting people's head off.
Yeah.
Especially on like a smaller stage.
Yeah.
You know that experience?
Oh, yeah.
So these cabinets that I have at home do the opposite. I can't tell you how many times I've been on a stage and my bandmates look at me and go, "Hey man, will you turn down?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, sure." And the sound guy walks up and goes, "Actually, I need him to turn up." And I'm like, "Oh, sorry, you guys. I guess I gotta turn up." Yeah. So these cabinets, they're just magical. Something about them, like the closer you are to it, the louder it is, which is like a dream.
Nice.
I've been playing on those since 2017.
Nice.
And then I've got a few Ampeg SVT Classic heads at home. I've got a little Bugera. What is that? The MOSFET VM 1000 something or other. It's like this,
Mesa.
You know what I'm talking about? They're 1,000 watts and 2,000 watts.
Those things are incredible.
Little tiny box, unreal.
Yeah.
And then I've got like 5 other amps that are sitting in a storage unit, But yeah, with the Vandos right now, all orange. I love them.
They make great stuff, man. I mean, I know my friend Joe, Zach's bass player in Rise, he plays those in an incredible tone. It's very simple. I think he's got like a dark glass pedal through a orange head, and it's Fender basses. That's all he needs. But,
yes.
So what else is up?
Yeah, I think the first time I got to play those orange. Oh, sorry.
No. I was just gonna say, what else is going on with you? Like, so after Vandoliers, what else do you have going on?
Well, like I mentioned with Nick Lee from the Texas Gentleman, I've been like co-producing, co-engineering records out of his studio. We're currently wrapping up 2 albums that we've been working on, and kind of just looking for what's next in his studio.
Nice.
Then I've got, with Trey here at the Vandoliers, the drummer, we've got another band called Holy Death Trio. It's like a stoner rock band.
Awesome.
And they've had that band for some years, and then they kind of took a hiatus for a while, and they just decided they wanted to relaunch it. And Trey asked me if I was interested, and I was like, absolutely. I got a 12-string bass, I mean, like, let's rock.
You did mention King's X earlier, so everybody, King's X, go right now and listen to King's X. If you're not a King's X fan, do yourself a favor. Of course, all their records are amazing, but for the hell of it, go ahead and start with Dogman. Why not? Just the first song will take your head off.
And then also, We Were Born to Be Loved off of that Faith, Hope, Love album.
Jesus Christ.
So cool.
When I heard that, my friend and I, it was with a girl that we had gone to school with, and she thought we were like having epileptic fits because we kept cracking up because they kept stopping. You know what I mean? Jerry Gaskell would, he would stop it, then he would do that drum fill, come right back into it. Fucking amazing. Just Pinnock's tone. I met Pinnock years ago in Houston. We were opening for Everclear, old band. My brother and old band was. And then we've met Ty as well. And never met Jerry, but just, god damn, what a great band, And also Ear Candy is a fucking incredible record too. Just Doug's tone. I think it's just one of the class. It's just an incredible tone, and it's completely him. He's based it on other people. Obviously Tom Peterson comes to mind, but Tom Peterson's whole thing was
12-string.
Yeah, but the first 4 Cheap Trick records was a T-Bird. So that was his thing. I think he was putting it through a Marshall head or something like that. And then he got into the 12-string to basically...
he came up with the 12-string.
Yeah. Him and a guy, like Zach and I were
Yeah.
friends with him, this guy that ran Hamer. And we were
Yep.
working with him for a while. We had a couple of Hamer guitars, and he was the guy that came up with all that shit with those guys. And he would just tell us some great stories,
So rad.
So that's the lesson for the
Ugh.
day, folks. Go listen to King's X. Okay, so that's our show. All right, we'll see you later. Bye.
Good night.
Good
See
night.
ya.
All right, fuck off. Well,
my
bye.
gosh.
We're King's X. Bye. But no, so
Oh my god. Yeah, my 12 string is his signature. I've got one of Doug's signature Schecter 12 strings. It's
oh
killer.
wow.
I I don't even know why. I was like, I just got this wild hair one day about it. I need a 12 string bass, and I started looking into it, and I was about to get myself one. This was a few years ago, and then I was having lunch or dinner with my mom one day, and she just asked me what's going on. And somehow I got into the conversation about, oh, look at this. What an interesting thing, right? I think I want one of these. And then she was just like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to buy you that for Christmas. I was like, oh, thanks, Mom. And so she
Nice.
got me the 12 string bass for Christmas. And I was like,
Well,
wow, I was not expecting that.
you might as well go all the way because Tech 21, my friend Tim Strace is their rep, and they have the Doug Pinnick pedal. I don't know if you've tried that out yet.
Yes.
That's what I was using. It
Oh,
wasn't working with
yes.
us so much. I liked it, but
Mm.
it had some things that I needed to get figured out, and I don't think I had. I tried it. It just didn't work out. So yeah, like whenever we were doing the shows in the summer with you guys, that's what I was using. But I think if you have the 12
If
string,
you're
that's
looking
gonna.
for a good, oh yeah, that would probably sound great with it. If you're looking for a good distortion, my current favorite, I got it about a year and a half or 2.5 years ago. I forget whenever the guy first started making them, but it's called the Big Booty Judy.
Okay.
It's this bass player out of Oklahoma, Jordan. I think his name's Jordan Ray Lander, or something like that. He started a
Okay.
company named Backburner Noise, and the Big
Nice.
Booty Judy is a rat for bass, though. So it's got a switch to go normal rat or turbo rat, and it's got like a blend and everything, and
Hell
it's like
yeah.
the coolest bass distortion I've ever been able to find.
Okay.
I've recommended it to every bass player. Yeah.
Nice. I will be able to play that every night.
That's
We're
right. Give it a
we're gonna
shot and see if you love it.
we're gonna be swapping shit and spit all night long for like a month straight.
Look, we could just have one night where you use my stuff and I use all your stuff, and we just
I'm in. Fine. My band will
I'm
look over
down.
like, the fuck's
It's
wrong with you? What are you
100%.
doing? Yeah, if I just show up with the V, I'll probably get some weird looks, but I get weird looks anyway.
Oh, you know what's
Fucking.
funny? I just remembered something. I had this total flashback about that when you said you got weird looks. This wasn't weird looks though, but the first time I met Vaden,
Hmm?
I was doing a jam in Fort Worth. It was like 2010 or 11, every Wednesday night at the Houston Street Bar that's not there anymore.
Okay.
And I did this online performance at Mambo's, and Vaden was just sort of randomly there. And I said hi to him. He's like, "Oh wow, I'm a big fan of your music. You've been a big inspiration over the years." Told him about my gig at Houston Street, and he came over,
Oh, wow.
and I was playing my P bass. And then we went on break, and I went up and said, "Hey, thanks for coming over." And he instantly was just like, that bass is really nice. What year is it? And I was like, oh, it's a 78. And he started telling me about his tech or somebody had just picked him up a vintage bass of some sort at that time.
It was
Yeah, that was
me.
like my first conversation with him. It was
Witness
you?
tech, it was me. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, well, that's what he said. He said that you had just picked up a vintage
Yeah.
bass for him.
Well, like we have a friend, he
I
had
misremembered.
see Vaden is a frustrated bass player. He really is. He writes fantastic bass lines. So a lot of our songs, he'll write the bass
Ah,
lines and he'll show them to me like, do you want to fuck with this? Please. That's the other thing. He'll write great bass lines, but go, hey, if you come up with something better, let's mess with this and see. It's not like, oh no, it has to be like this.
totally.
But the majority of the time, like, this is great. I love this. And he
That's the
loves good
line.
sounding bass. He loves good basses. He's got a couple of good basses. Like the demos, he's got a really bitchin' Gibson T-Bird that we've used on quite a few records.
Mm.
He had this fantastic American jazz bass that got lost. And that was the thing. He had lost this other jazz bass and he wanted another one. So I put him in touch with a friend of ours at
Ah,
Fender, and he bought another one. And we used that on the last record, not the new one coming out, but the last one. We used it on a couple of songs, and it's really cool. It was kind of like a not, sometimes jazz basses can sound, for lack of a better word, hollow. They're not as heavy and meaty
yeah.
as some other ones. The one
Mm-hmm.
that he got it's not as heavy sounding. It's not thin, but it's like in the middle. It's got a really great mid-range tone to it. It's not like a 70s where it's just going to be
Mm-hmm.
all just girth. So, yeah. Yeah, he's a
I
good dude.
love
He's
that.
a really hell of a good bass player too. Really is. I
Oh
figured
yeah.
he's
I'm trying to remember here. Feeler. Did he do the bass on Feeler?
He did. Yeah, they wanted to. He played it on No Deliverance
Ah,
also. I had joined the band,
okay.
but they wanted to complete that Feeler project themselves. So it was like
Totally.
they had
I
to
remember
do
seeing
it.
some videos of him playing bass on something.
Yeah, they wanted to do it, the three of them. They were like, they started it, they wanted to finish it, just the three of them. And then, I mean,
Totally
but
makes sense.
fucking great record too, though. So it was,
Yeah.
I think he did that entire thing with the T Bird. I think so.
Yeah, there was some really cool videos of him playing bass for Feeler, I remember. Also, I was going to say, I think my favorite Toadies record is Play Rock Music.
Well, isn't that nice to hear? That's the first
Get
record
Low,
featuring your.
that's
Well, thank you so much.
oh, it's so heavy. It's so heavy, that song.
All
Ugh.
right, you know
And We
what?
Burned the City Down, so cool. The build of We Burned the City Down. Ugh.
Oh, it's a great song, dude. I love it. Actually, on Get Low, Zach had gotten me my brother Zach Blair had gotten me a Nash
Hmm.
jazz bass as a gift for my
Ah,
birthday. It showed up, and we were in Austin at the Hook. It was Chris Frenchie Smith's place. So
oh,
I
cool.
grabbed it, and then it was like I think about like the first day that we were going to record. We had did that record in like I think 3 sessions or so. We do like 4 songs a piece, and we'd already done 4 other songs. Came back, we were going to do another batch of songs, and I had this Nash Jazz that I just literally just gotten. I got it off of Zach's doorstep. He was out of town. It had been delivered. I grabbed it, took it to the studio, and I had my acoustic bass head. And Frenchie was like, oh, okay, well, you have that, but I've got like an Ampeg, I've got all this other stuff. I'm like, yeah, I know. But this is kind of like what I've been playing on tour, and this is what I want to try. He was like, okay, whatever. Didn't you get that at Guitar Center? I'm like, I did. And it was cheap as shit, and I love it. I'm like, okay, whatever. He was kind of condescending, kind of clowning me. So I plugged it in. The first song we did was Get Low, and I had the Sansamp, the jazz,
Ah,
the Nash jazz, and that acoustic. And I went through one take of it, and Frenchie was like, uh, I think I'm gonna go get one of those fucking amps. Like it's what I thought. And
oh, that's right. I
it's the
love
simple as
that.
shit. It makes more. I mean, how many times have you been there?
Hmm.
And it's someone's telling you, well, you should try this, 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 and this, and you know exactly what's going to work because it's you doing it. And it's
Hmm.
super simple, and then it blows your socks off. It's not all the time, we're not right all the time. And sometimes what we want isn't what the person doing the session wants. But that's what we have to be as bass players and good musicians is be able to be bendable. Like, no,
Yeah,
it's my way or the
adapt.
highway. No, then take the highway. We'll get someone that wants to
Hmm.
mess around and be a musician. But sometimes we're
Yep,
right. And when we are, it's kind of delicious. I love it.
exactly.
Again, dude, thank you for spending your off day. Days off are rare in this business, and I really appreciate you doing this and talking to me. And just glad to have you. Glad to know you. Glad that you're my bud.
Great
And I
chatting with
can't
you
wait
as
to
well.
spend a
Same.
month with you guys. Everybody, if you see out there before we go on tour together, you see the Vandoliers in your town, anywhere, go see them. Incredible band. You're going to love them. I dare you to not stomp and hoot and holler and be in a good mood during their show. I dare you. I double dog
Good
dare you.
luck.
Good luck. You won't do it, ladies and gentlemen. You will not do it. But thank you so much. I will see you soon, okay?
Yep. See you soon, man.
All right, everybody. Patrick Smith for you from the Vandoliers. I've met Patrick a long time ago, probably about maybe a year and a half ago. Guess it's not really that long, but just a fantastic guy. He's got great hair, way better hair than I do. So I'm a little jealous of that. And he has a really cool thing where he likes to play different basses. I think he talked about that. He doesn't just play your regular Fender P, Fender Jazz, which there's nothing wrong with, especially in that kind of music. But I love the fact that he has his own style. He loves Gibson basses. He'll play V basses. He'll play Explorer basses. It's just really cool. So he's just a hell of a player, and I think their next record will feature Patrick, definitely. So the record that they just put out is fantastic. Their lead guitar player, Mark, played bass on that. And I think this next one, though, you'll be able to hear Patrick and his tone and just probably a little bit more bass playing. Anyway, I hope everybody enjoyed the episode. I know I did, talking to Patrick like I always do. He's a great guy, and they're a fantastic band. And hopefully you'll be able to see them this year on tour. I know for a fact they're going to be on tour with the Toadies, us, for about a month from late April to late May. So come on out, check it out, okay? All right, we'll see you next episode. Bye-bye.